This is the Daily Social Distancing Show with Trevor Noah.
All right, let's kick things off with the latest global updates. There are now over 700,000 confirmed coronavirus infections around the world, with the United States now reporting the highest number of cases, while Italy and Spain are reporting the highest fatalities per day. And as the threat has grown, more and more countries are starting to take this thing more seriously. For instance, the largest city in Africa, Lagos, in Nigeria, is now in lockdown. And in Russia, they've put Moscow in lockdown as well. And let me tell you something, my friends. When Russians are scared of something, then you know it's serious. Russian people's daily lives look like an episode of Fear Factor. What will I do today? Drink fermented bread juice or wrestle bear? Either way, it's going to be a good Saturday. So this is a very scary time to be in Russia. I mean, second only to all the other times to be in Russia. Meanwhile, over in Great Britain, Prime Minister and ghost who has just seen a ghost, Boris Johnson, has announced that he has tested positive for COVID-19, which is ironic. You know why? Because earlier this month, Boris Johnson suggested that Britain should just let the virus run its course throughout the country. And then on top of that, he also joked about he had been shaking hands all willy-nilly. Yeah. So I guess now shit got real, and he better pray that he can get corona to Brexit out of his body. Also, it's interesting to learn that coronavirus doesn't just infect humans, it can also infect Shreks. But enough about Boris. Let's move to the big story. The only story that everybody's talking about right now. Tiger King. It's the new Netflix series that is somehow even more viral than COVID-19. And if you haven't watched this show, I'm telling you now, you are wasting your life. Seriously, as soon as you're done with this, as soon as you're done watching The Daily Show, go and watch Tiger King. You will thank me tomorrow. It's the most fascinating show you've ever seen. It exposes the horrible world of exotic animal breeding in America, specifically like tigers and lions, and also it answers the question, what would happen if meth smoked itself? And let me tell you something, after binging all 7 episodes this weekend, I've realized a couple of things. One, this is what happens when white people have no black friends. And 2, Joe Exotic is not only one of the weirdest people you will ever meet in your life, he could also be president of the United States. I know, I can hear you. How can you say that, president? But hear me out. This man has all of the character traits of a commander-in-chief. Everything. Like, for instance, one thing you notice about Joe Exotic is that he makes everything about him. It's all about me, which apparently is very presidential.
In his news conference yesterday, the president discussed a story in the New York Times that says his coronavirus task force briefings get high TV ratings.
Even they said that the ratings are like Monday Night Football ratings and that these are like Bachelor finale.
Now that the relief package has passed, the Wall Street Journal is reporting this, quote, Mr. Trump has told people he wants his signature to appear on the direct payment checks that will go out to many Americans in the coming weeks.
President Trump is firing back at governors who have been critical of his administration's response to the pandemic, even telling the vice president that if they aren't appreciative, don't even bother reaching out.
I want them to be appreciative. And I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Don't call the woman in Michigan. Well, it doesn't make any difference what happens. If they don't treat you right, I don't call.
Wow, okay. Firstly, the ratings aren't high because of Trump. People are watching TV because of the virus. That's why they're watching the briefings. This would be like the guy on Friends who owns the coffee shop taking credit for the success of the show. Yeah, it was all because of my lattes, you know? That's why people watched. No, you just happen to be there, dude. Secondly, Trump wasn't even involved in the negotiations for the relief package, and now he wants the credit. This is the classic deadbeat dad technique, yeah? Just trying to put his name on a gift at the last minute. And lastly, I can't believe that Trump is actually threatening not to help governors of certain states because he feels that they're not being nice to him. Let me tell you something. A crisis is not a time for manners, right? People need to get life-saving equipment. Can you imagine a doctor in an emergency room being like, I'm sorry, ma'am, your husband didn't make it. I mean, I could have saved him, but he just didn't say the magic word. He was in a coma. Yeah, manners are manners, man.